Buen día, me llamo Giuliano Ramat del grupo de trabajo His for Change y voy a moderar esta sesión de las jornadas sobre el tema de la agricultura, que es un tema muy actual. Como hemos hablado de datos abiertos, seguimos hablando de datos abiertos con la ponencia del vuelo de datos abiertos en la seguridad alimentaria. Y esta ponencia será en inglés de Suchit Anand. Y como hemos hecho hasta ahora, las preguntas, por favor, el final de las 3 intervenciones. Gracias.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. My name is Suchit Anand. I'm from India, and I now work for the Global Open Data for Agriculture and Nutrition. I'm very happy to be here at this gvSIG conference. I have been following the gvSIG community for many years. And I have been working closely with the gvSIG community especially on the education and the open source geospatial foundation activities. So it is a real pleasure for me to be here finally and I was listening to some of the presentations before as well, even though I couldn't understand fully, I could get a sense of all the amazing work that you are all doing. And what I hope to share with you is how we can, I hope the gvSIG community can help us, especially in agriculture area, in open data, and develop new ideas for all of us to work together. So what I want to do now is quickly introduce you to what I'm doing now. So I work for this global open data for agriculture and nutrition, and our mission is to end global poverty, especially zero hunger. And even today, with all these amazing technological developments and all these developments, unfortunately, 800 million people are still struggling from hunger. And this is unacceptable. And what we are doing is trying to use open data. We believe open data is a powerful way to help us solve this. And I want to show you, rather than let me just escape. How do I go back? I want to show one video if I can. Okay, you have to. No, go back to the, because I put the video in the.
Okay. You want the video? Okay.
So that one, yeah. Please.
Over 7 billion humans inhabit planet Earth. Experts tell us we collectively produce more than enough food to feed everyone. But why do 800 million people still go to sleep hungry every night? And why do over 3 million children die every year due to malnutrition? The causes are many. The problem is growing. Solving the problem of global food and nutrition insecurity is complex. Perhaps the solution is right before our eyes, if only we could see the entire picture. The solution is breathtakingly simple. The answer to zero hunger lies within existing agriculture and nutrition data. Right now, this information is inaccessible to many. This is why we believe in making this data open and available for unrestricted use worldwide. To combat hunger, promote innovation, create economic opportunities, empower farmers, and improve the health of everyone. Let's ensure no one goes to bed hungry. You have the opportunity right now to end world hunger. All you have to do is lend your voice to tell public, private and non-profit organizations to commit to making agriculture and nutrition data open and freely available. Together, we can be the generation that takes the most important step to end world hunger by setting agriculture and nutrition data free.
That hopefully will give you a sense of what we are doing, and I'm very, very happy to be in this community, especially the gvSIG community, who are working on open ideas. So I was listening to the presentation before, and we believe openness is fundamental to help us solve this issue on zero hunger. And open data is a very powerful way. But with just open data, it doesn't work. But if we have open tools like what the gvSIG community is doing, it becomes a big enabler for us to reach out, especially because most of our work is in developing countries and poor countries. So we need to make sure the data is also usable. So that's why tools like gvSIG will be a very, like a force multiplier for us as well. So I want to give you, a big picture, why we believe, we believe innovation is for everyone, not just people who have the money to buy these expensive softwares. Innovation opportunities are for everyone, and that's why the open technologies are very fundamental, like the gvSIG examples we showed before. And it has to be inclusive as well. So, by having open technologies, it will make sure, everybody will be able to benefit from all this. And also empowerment is fundamental, so it will empower the users because they have the data as well as the technologies to make use of the data. But fundamentally, it's also lowering the barriers. So what we hope is, by using free and open technologies and open data, it will enable people from poorer economic backgrounds to also make use of these resources. And what we hope is, I'm here to get ideas from all of you colleagues who are working in a lot of different innovative projects to see how we can use these ideas in agriculture. So the main question I have for you is basically, how can we use open data? So there are so much open data now available, and the tools are also now available. So how can we make use of this especially for helping the smallholder farmers? And I'll be very interested to have conversations with this even after, I will give my email as well, so you can contact me later. So if you're interested to work on any ideas on this, we can work with you on this. And I have been looking at the gvSIG community, as I told you, I have been following this amazing community, and you have developed a lot of different amazing tools, from the WebGIS tools to mobile tools. So my question to you is, how can this community help us? You build a lot of these amazing tools. How can this be used for smallholder farmers? And if you think any ideas for this, I'll be very appreciative. I will really appreciate your inputs for this. And I will show you some examples how we have been doing this in another context. But I really hope in future, we can, together we can launch a kind of like a challenge for students to develop innovative apps for using open data for global food security. So these are some of the things I would like to get from this conversation with you all. So to give you an example of what we did before, so maybe in future we can do with the gvSIG community as well. We have been partnering with NASA colleagues to launch this local farming challenge. This was last year. And we didn't have any idea how to do it or anything, but we thought it is a good opportunity to launch this initiative. And the idea was to get the student communities, because at that time they were using this NASA Whirlwind, again a free and open technology. But how can we harness the amazing talent that is available within the student communities worldwide to build up amazing examples for open data in agriculture? And to my surprise, we had received amazing applications from the student community, and that opened my mind. So I then realized, if we can get this out to more students, we can get a lot of new technologies possible. And we learned a lot of things from this. We had so many projects from student communities who were using agriculture data and geospatial data, who participated in this. And the winner was actually high school students. So it just shows the amazing talent that is available. Once they have all this open data and open tools, it's amazing what they can do with it. And they built this whole tools which were, pulling together data from all different sources. Basically 100 years of historical data, you can get and display and visualize with these technologies, all available free and openly. And this is what I really hope to raise with you colleagues in the gvSIG community. You have all these gvSIG mobile, all these web technologies. We should think about ideas of how we can use this amazing, harness the power of these amazing technologies, but maybe channel this through some competition or challenge in the future for students, especially for students and researchers and SMEs as well, to participate in innovative applications for building amazing practical tools for helping agriculture scientists as well as farmers. And this was the example from that AgroSphere, which actually won the challenge. So I really hope what colleagues from here will work with us to build upon these ideas for the future as well. And this is some of the students with the finalists who we invited for in Helsinki. So we had all the finalists who were participating, and truly amazing projects came out of this. So what I really hope is in next year or in the years after, we will have this kind of challenge for the student communities in gvSIG as well. So there are a lot of lessons learned, and one of the fundamental lessons I learned was, innovation is not for, scientists or, people from universities. It's for everyone. It's from farmers to students, and if we can provide them the tools and the technology and the data, they will come with a lot of applications. So as I told before, my work is a lot based in developing countries, and what we are now doing is working closely with colleagues in Africa, Asia, South America, etc., to train them with open technologies and open data, so that they can then themselves move, they can themselves empower their colleagues. They can train the trainers, and they can help build capacity locally. So one example is the examples from one of the work we have been doing for capacity development in Nairobi for AgriGIS. So in future, I really hope, gvSIG, I know, is very active in South America. So what I really hope is, maybe you can also, we can work together to expand more ideas of how we can develop capacity in, in other regions as well. So I will welcome your ideas and feedbacks for this. So, as I told, we are very much focused on inclusivity. So we want to make sure the colleagues there are fully empowered. So that's why, it's not just giving them the open data, but the tools as well should be freely available and openly available. So they are not dependent on any vendors or anything for licenses or cost or anything. So so they are fully empowered in all ways. So this is our work in Nairobi. In fact, after this presentation, I am again going back to Africa we are having a big conference there to bring together educators from basically vice chancellors from all the African countries in a conference called RU Forum, which is now happening, to bring together the vice chancellors in agriculture. So what we hope to do is to empower the education community in Africa to make use of open data and open tools in their training and capacity development. And I want to show one, can I show one example so you get an idea of what we are doing. So this open fields. This is an example from Kenya.
Jina langu naitwa Eunice Bule. Ninafanya na ukulima. Familia yangu tuko watu, ndio. Hivyo. Sahi hata mtoto kama wa KG1, 2, 3 na wa primary akiregeshwa wakati nikiamka nikianza siku, fagie ndani ya nyumba, nioshe vyombo, ingie kwa shamba nilime, alafu simu yenye niko nayo nilipata mwaka jana. Huwa naitumia wakati nikiwa nataka kupanda mboga fulani.
Bamia huota katika sehemu kavu na za joto kwa kilimo cha umwagiliaji maji. Tayarisha ardhi kwa mkono au kwa plau la trekta. Udongo lazima uvunjwe uwe laini kwa kuoteshea mbegu. Chimba mistari yenye kupishana kiasi ya sentimita 60. Chimba vishimo vya kupanda yenye kupishana kiasi ya sentimita 30. Panda mbegu moja au mbili katika kila kishimo. Ikiwa unatumia kilimo cha kumwagia maji kwa mitaro, panda mbegu thuluthi moja ya juu ya tuta ili kuzuia maji yasituame.
Pia ninaitumia kuelimisha wenzangu kwa ajili ya ukulima, pia na wao wapande mboga. Alafu ndo inakuja hiyo kwa lugha mbili, alafu nachagua Kiswahili. Saja hizo picha 4, unachagua pale unataka usome. Sasa hii ni wakati wa kulima mboga, unakuja hapa kwa mboga, unagusa hapa kwa ndizi. Kama unataka kujua kwa tomato zaitwa tumbule, hapa ziliandikwa tumbule. Unasoma sasa. Tumeambiwa na mwalimu kuwa kuna, kama huwezi kusoma, kuna ile wa kutusaidia kusoma hapa ndani. Unagusa hapa.
Bamia hukomaa kwa siku 45. Yachume matunda yangali machanga. Yachume kila baada ya siku 3 ili kuzuia yasikomae sana. Tani 2 hadi 4 kwa ekari moja.
Simu imenisaidia kujua kilicho ndani ya simu, kusoma zaidi, na pia imenisaidia na vitu vingine. Ninaenda nauza mauzo mawili na nipeane hiyo fees. Maono yangu, nataka nibadilishe hii nyumba, toa udongo nibadilishe mawe.
So the idea here is to, the reason I wanted to share these ideas is, what I really hope is, the gvSIG community, with all the tools you have, gvSIG mobile and web and all these amazing technologies, please think of ideas of how you can, in the future, help, come with ideas for the smallholder farmers. And that will be a really big impact you can have on the global community. So I'm really hoping you will think about more ideas for this. And, especially as I, the question I posed in the beginning is, how can we use these, all these amazing technologies and open data, if we can focus our energies to help these smallholder farmers from, anything has a location. And one of the things I realized is, especially with technology, the cost of hardware is coming down. You have all these, even cheap mobile phones in developing countries, as you saw. The cost of hardware is coming down. Internet availability is increasing. The main cost is the software cost. So if we can remove the software costs with technologies like gvSIG, it will be a huge empowerment to all these countries and people who can then also be digitally empowered and economically participate in this. So that is why my questions for the gvSIG community was how we can, work with all of you to help us in this aspect. So I want to welcome you all to the Godan capacity development activities. So we are doing a lot of things, and I will welcome you all to participate in this. And you can just join our mailing list and and be part of the community and share your ideas on what are the key projects you are working on, and it will be very helpful for all of us to work on this as well. So I want to thank again the organizers for providing this opportunity to come here and share these ideas and listen to your amazing work from the gvSIG community. And I really hope you will all, I will get the opportunity to work with you all in the future as well. Thank you very much.